Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Gregg Township Board of Supervisors meeting. We'll call the meeting to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will start with public comment. First on the list is Don Gregg. If you could come up to the podium.
Thank you for the invitation. And I just have a few things here I want to say. One of them is I believe that the township deserves better health, welfare, and safety than we've had now. We just deserve to have more information on a fire company and so forth than we have been so far this year. The fire company has had a pumper broken down much of the year. Our special unit was said to be overloaded so that water was removed. Might be back on by now, I don't know. All I can say is thank God for our mutual aid. If it wasn't for that, this township would be in bad shape. For all the years in the past that I've been over at the fire company and with the fire company and knowing what was going on, this year I think our fire company is very sad shape. And I'd like everybody in here to talk to your supervisors. I think the insurance companies would even be happy to hear about some of this. And let's get our safety and our fire protection back. Thank you.
Carol Gingrich.
Hello, everybody. How are you? I just would like you to think about having a riffraff in the township, and I would really, really like you to think about a burn ban within the village. Not all Gregg Township, just within the village, because I don't know if any of you were home on Saturday, but it was pretty hard to breathe. I mean, it burned your throat, burned your nose. It was terrible. And the last thing I urge you to support Jim Smith for the emergency management coordinator. He's a lifelong resident of Gregg Township, and I feel he's best qualified. Thank you.
It is local government week, and so I think we reached out to the school, and we have some students here from the high school, so thank you guys for coming out. If you guys would like to say anything.
Most of us don't live in Gregg Township, so you guys do great.
If you ever do have anything, reach out to your local elected officials, and they'd be happy to hear from you. So thanks for coming out. We will move on to liaison reports. First is the solicitor's report.
The only items I have are on the agenda.
Emergency management coordinator, anything you want to add?
I think everything will be brought up later.
Gregg Township Fire Company.
I'm Scott Brown. I'm the Chief of the Fire Department in Gregg Township. I haven't been here for several meetings. Our meetings have coincided the past few months, so I've missed some. I apologize for that. We are still averaging 3 new members a month, which is almost unheard of in the volunteer fire service. So that's good. We're over 30 members now. We've added quite a few members that are certified to at least Firefighter 1, and we also have 3 that are certified to Firefighter 2 certification level, which really helps us as far as our insurance ratings in the township go for homeowner insurance, things like that. It also helps us get grants. We had the highest call volume in the valley for the month of January. We were very busy. That's almost unheard of too. We're normally the slowest company in the valley. We had a pretty busy month. As you know, our engine is out of service, has a bad pump. can't pump water anymore. Luckily, we were donated a new engine by Port Matilda Fire Company. They took their old engine out of service, and they decided to donate it to us, which was very nice of them. However, it is 1991 and needs a little bit of work. Unfortunately, we needed a fuel tank that was not made anymore, so we had to have it custom built. It just got done this week. The truck's been over at Gregg Fire Company since February 25th or 6th, I believe. It's been quite a long time. So yes, we have mutual aid going in for us on those calls. And yes, I do have water back on the special unit. It only holds 300 gallons. It's not going to do a lot for a fully involved house fire, but it does have water on it just in case while our engine's out of service. The ISO people are coming. That's the Insurance Services Office. This guy comes and he goes over what equipment we have, what record keeping as far as training, what certifications people have. He goes over our personnel files. I'm trying to get all that in order because it's never been done before. The record keeping has been very lax in the past. So I have to go through all that and try to redo that, not just by myself. I have quite a few helpers with that. So the ISO guys come in. Hopefully, with the extra equipment and the better record keeping, we can have a better rating for the township, and our house insurance might drop. Hopefully, that'll be the case. We're going to have an Easter egg hunt this coming Saturday at 2 o'clock. We have 6 bicycles to give away. We have bingo April 19th, the jackpot's at $350. We have a gun raffle coming up October 5th. This is going to be our first one where we're going to serve beer and have food. Going to have a little party there. $10 a ticket for that. 4 of us took EMS classes. We have 1 certified EMT, and 3 of us took EMR classes to help our local ambulance service a little bit better. If they get a call, hopefully we can assist them better by having these skills. We acquired a new piece of equipment from DCNR. It is it's basically a Chevy pickup truck with a utility body on it. It came from Mifflinburg. It's a really nice truck. It's old. It's an 87, I think, but it's in really nice shape. It's going to be a utility truck, so therefore it's going to serve basically as a traffic unit for accident calls when we have to close a lane or a road or whatnot. The fire police will run it, and it's also going to be a brush unit for brush fires, wildfires, what have you. Grants, we were awarded 3 grants this year. It's the first time in I'm not sure how many years that we've ever gotten any grants. We got a DCNR grant that we bought wildfire gear with, suits and helmets and things like that. We also got our state grant this year. We are buying new turnout gear for, I think, 5 firefighters, and we're also buying some equipment like flashlights, things like that, for our rigs. And we also got our federal grant in conjunction with the rest of the Valley Fire Companies. It's about $650,000 grant. We are all getting new air packs. As air packs go, they run out every 15 years. The bottles are not good anymore, so we have to buy new ones. So we got this grant just in time. We're going to get 16 new air packs and 16 extra bottles. That'll be 32. We're going to have a air pack where we don't even have any seats, so that'll be nice. That's all I got. Thank you.
Old Gregg School Advisory Board.
Not a whole lot tonight. We are still continuing to work with the YMCA for the Community Fest this June 15th. And we are in charge of the food trucks, food vendor spaces, and also the craft vendor spaces. We're going to have the food trucks or food vendors are going to be $50 a space, up to a size of a 20 by 30, since we figure some of the trucks will be bigger. And then the craft vendor spaces are going to be the typical 10 by 10 at $25 a space. And one other thing, we would like you to support us in making the cost to rent the pavilion $35 for up to 4 hours. I think that's the only thing that's not being done so far. Okay?
Anyone want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion. I'll second the motion.
Okay, the motion is to set the pavilion rent at $35 for up to 4 hours. Any further discussion on that?
Down here.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Is fiscal plant manager.
Yeah, as most of you know, we have a new fire suppression system installed in the range hood in the kitchen. That still needs to have a fire alarm connected to it. Some of you who are here in the building may experience some cold times and some hot times. We're in between seasons now. So some days when the heating system is on, it's too hot, and then you turn it off and it's too cold. So please bear with us till we get that worked out. Also, as you notice, the flag out here is missing, and the rope broke. I've gotten some wire rope and turnbuckles and things like that. I'll need to put those together in my office. And then Miller Electric has offered to donate a lift truck so one of us can get up there and put the flag back up on top of the flagpole. That's all I have.
Anything you want to add, Pam, about the building? Penns Valley Code Enforcement Agency. I don't see Mike Lesniak. I believe there were a few complaints filed that were on his report, so it would be nice to hear from him what's going on with those complaints and what the responses are going to be so that we're aware of that. We also have an issue with a driveway permit, or a driveway that was not, we haven't issued a permit for yet. So we need to make sure that before building permits are given, that driveway permits are done. Because they've already started building and digging the driveway because they got their building permits, but they never came for their driveway permit. So, you want to continue talking about that now, what the options are?
Yeah, it sounds like, so it's all, there are two issues. One, what to do with what's already happened with people building and not having the permits for the driveways. The second is what to do moving forward. What to do moving forward, of course, is to talk with Mike and just make sure we're communicating on those issues. And the permit, the overall building permits aren't being, well, they're being granted in the same fashion as the driveway permits are. I understand that that the driveway we're primarily talking about does not meet the spec. Is that fair to say? The only thing I know to do is, and this is typical, is to reach out to them and say that there's an issue, but as long as they're responsible for maintaining the driveway, and they're going to hold the township harmless against any issues relating to nonconformities.
Well, the bigger issue with that driveway is that it's shedding water in an area that already floods as it is, so that'll make it even more of an issue.
Yeah. I understand there's another issue with water pooling too, potentially at the bottom. Yeah, which we can't have the water pooling at the bottom of the driveway. What's happening at the top is fine, as long as they want to be responsible for it. But I just need to start a dialogue with them and hopefully work something out. But you can't negotiate water pooling on a public road, and that's just problematic.
Penns Valley EMS.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to share some results. We had a local family donate a deceased member's book collection, and the proceeds were to benefit EMS. Through that, we raised $1,500. And the second, and that will go, the board has approved that to be earmarked for the next ambulance fund. The next one, we had our Sticky Hoagie and Soup fundraiser. Once you take out the expenses of having Mr. Sticky and then also buying all the things for the hoagies, we made $5,900, and we extend a very large thank you note to our local firefighters and for lending us their buildings so that we could make hoagies. And I must say that without the Amish community, none of these things could happen, because they were a very, very large driving force in making this a successful event. Thank you.
Has there been any more talk of the municipal committee for the EMS?
She could answer that, maybe.
Denny Faust has been helping us put together a letter. We approved it last night. We were trying to, the solicitor for the EMS is Rod Beard. We're getting a meeting together with him, and it's looking like we're gonna try and schedule a municipal meeting to talk about the options moving forward in June.
Penns Valley Regional Planning Commission?
Yeah, the Penns Valley Regional Planning Commission will meet this Monday, the 15th of April, and the meeting will actually be held at the Penns Valley Area High School. There will be a tour of the new parts of the facility, and then a planning commission meeting following that. This is open to the public, that's my understanding, and if anybody is interested in going down at 7 p.m. and seeing superintendent give a tour of the new parts of the facility, you could do that and stay for the meeting afterwards if you wish. Yeah.
Planning Commission?
Planning Commission didn't meet in April.
Tri-Municipal Park?
The Tri-Municipal Park sent us a letter. They're asking for two things. One is for us to make a commitment for an operator and a machine for April of 2020 when they want to plant 50 to 100 trees at the Tri-Municipal Park. So that's one thing they want us to do. They're also asking for wood chips for mulch and wire and old hose and stakes to secure the trees. That's one thing. That's one group of things they're asking for. They also say here we will need commitment letters from each municipality with the dollar value for machine operator time and the value of donated materials. This information for an in-kind match will be submitted with our funding proposal in July of 2019. They're submitting a funding proposal to DCNR for the trees and planting the trees. And of course there are 3 municipalities in Tri-Municipal Park: Center Hall Borough, Potter Township, and Gregg Township. I just want to say briefly, I have some suggestions for how we should bill machine time. In the past, I've always used $1 per $1,000 of investment. So if you have a $125,000 front-end loader, that would go for $125 an hour. Likewise, a $60,000 backhoe would go for $60,000 an hour, or $60 an hour. The other thing we need to do yet is to come up with a rate for our employees, and I would recommend there that we go with the operator's wages and plus the benefits. In other words, medical benefits, 401k contributions. Take those numbers, divide them by 2,080, which is the number of work hours in a year. We don't know what that number will be yet, but we could get that together. So am I asking for 2 motions here, I guess, or 1 motion? It's a long-worded motion if you make it.
Well,
Yeah.
does it say how long it would take?
To plant the trees, 2 days. 2 days. Yes, I missed that. Is there any other discussion? Is there anything that's unclear?
It's not unclear, it's just, we only have 3 guys and a lot of road stuff to do, especially that time where we're coming out of winter
Yeah.
into spring, so.
Well, we are a founding member of the park, and this is a way to match our grant without having to lay cash on the table, and I think we should support it. All 3 municipalities will be supporting this. Well, the other 2 will for sure, and I think we should too.
How big will the trees be when they go up?
They're going to be 10 to 15 feet. They're going to have quite a root ball on them and need a backhoe.
They can do 150 of those in 2 days?
Well, there's a lot of volunteers, no, 150 to 100.
Oh.
And they have a lot of volunteers to help with this also, but they need machinery, you know.
So it's each municipality having a machine operator?
Well, they say, yes, 2 backhoes and or 2 front end loaders, yeah, at least.
So what are they exactly asking from us? A machine and an
Well,
operator?
they're asking for a machine and an operator. And
Wood
they're,
chips,
pardon?
wood chips and whatever that other list.
Wood
of
chips,
things was.
old hose. Wood chips and old hose, I don't know that we need to talk about that. If we have wood chips and old hose, that's fine. If we don't, we'll find a way to get it, but I don't know that we need to put that in here. They're also asking for the value of a machine and operator. What's the hourly value of that for an in-kind match? And then I mentioned a way to determine what the hourly value would be. So we're doing, I guess what I don't see, do we have 2 motions here or 1 motion?
I'm concerned, like Carrie said, you know, it's the time of the year that we're gonna be busy. I hate to spread the 3 men thinner than what we are.
We're in this park, whether we want to be or not, and I think that we should be supporting it.
What do you wanna do, Brandon?
Not my decision. I mean, I'll do whatever I'm told, I guess. We did go up there and do some stuff before.
Yeah,
I mean, at one point, but what's everybody else doing?
same thing.
What have they done so far?
Well, everybody got this letter.
Right, but I'm saying, we went up there one time and I went up and dug groundhog holes out and filled them back in.
Yeah,
And I'm just saying, what have they?
well, I
done?
don't have a list of whatever.
Yeah, there's a list of
Okay.
in kinds
Yeah.
from all municipalities. So you're looking at 2 days.
What if you write into the motion that it's subject to scheduling?
Availability?
Right, yeah. Or, you know, I mean, you're agreeing to something a year from now.
Yeah, well, it could, the timing could be changed, but we want to have I want to have the commitment there. It may not happen on a day they think it'll happen, but it needs to happen at some point in coordination with the other 2 municipalities.
Yeah. But
Can we just say in 2020 instead of a specific month and time?
I don't know, this needs to be written in as a match for a grant, okay? And when you get trees in the spring, it's a DCNR grant, you will need to plant them. So-
yeah,
so-
I mean, they need this for a grant,
Yeah.
but you don't,
Well,
I mean, who knows what the
Yeah.
place could be flooded next year,
Yes.
for all you know.
Exactly.
You cannot, subject to availability, subject to scheduling, or something like that, to the motion.
I would make that motion depending on our schedule and the availability of the employees and the equipment.
Right. So you can work out the finer details later. And I suspect that this will be fine for the grant.
Yeah.
But you just need, the park needs to tell DCNR that the commitment's there.
Yeah,
Right.
yes.
Okay, Charles made a motion for the first part.
Okay, what is it again, please?
I would make the motion for the piece of equipment and the operator depending on the schedule and the necessity that we need it here, or availability for here.
Subject to scheduling and availability.
Right.
Okay. All right, so the motion is, we'll make a commitment to Tri-Municipal Park, subject to scheduling and availability. We're not saying April of 2020.
You know, depending on the weather as well.
Yeah, well.
Because
I think-
I understand they're gonna have to be planted relatively.
I don't think for the grant it's dependent upon saying April of 20.
Well,
I think it's just,
it may be because you got trees and you gotta plant them. DCNR,
I mean, for the grant, it's writing the grant itself. You don't have to say they will do it this
well,
specific
okay,
time.
but before they grant you this, they want to know that you're going to be able to handle it. Okay? So if DCNR is a department in the state of Pennsylvania that turns grants around, in other words, they make the grants and then they expect action on it quickly. They don't want to wait 6 months or a year for something like that to happen. And because tree planting is critical on the time of year, I think it's important to say April.
That's a thing to add as a motion, right? Who wants to add that to the motion?
That's fine, and there again, it depends on, you know, the availability, the weather, the whole sheet match.
Okay, well, if it's fine, let's add April to that then. And we said subject to availability.
So you made the motion.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Did you calculate out what the cost would be?
Well, I don't have all the numbers yet. Okay.
I think $60 an hour for a backhoe is a little bit low, but
Well, that's subject to
I'm just saying.
whatever it is. That backhoe is what, 10 years old or more?
yeah, but
Yeah,
I would go on the higher end, especially if you're writing a grant.
yeah, I think we should. But what I'm talking about is the metrics for calculating.
Right, but
That's
they
what-
want us to tell them a number.
Well, we will. We will.
You wanted us to make a motion on that.
Yeah.
Does the backhoe in fact cost $60,000?
More today. We got a deal on it
Right.
when we bought it. Yeah, we bought it with the city of Harrisburg and we got a good deal on it. Well, I talked about the metrics for coming up with the rate. And,
I think we should be higher than 60 an hour.
well, that's okay. That's okay. The rate hasn't been developed. If you want to sit down and talk about this, Brandon and I will do it. Yeah.
Would you need it for the motion, or for the,
I don't think I need it for the motion. I need it to make the commitment, and if they get the rate next Wednesday or something, I don't think it'll make any difference.
What's a good rate for a backhoe?
I'd say backhoe is closer, I mean, everything large scale wise, less a skid loader in that industry, triaxle, anything's $90 to $100 an hour. I
I
mean,
would go with the 100, that's my opinion.
looking at the dirt and gravel road grant for a 953, 963 size track loader, which is not a backhoe and it's usually a little bit more money, but we're anywhere from 100, 105 to 120, 125, so
let's
Yeah.
go with 100.
I'm thinking closer to 100 would be more accurate. But
Well, front end loader, or for the
for
backhoe.
the back, yeah, I don't think a loader's gonna be much help digging holes for trees, but
Well, carrying trees with root ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess.
moving mulch.
Okay. Anything else you need for that?
Well, we need a motion to come up with the metrics and submit the rate.
You need a front end loader rate too, right?
The front end loader, 2 front end loaders and or backhoes.
Right.
Yeah,
So you've got 100 for backhoe.
What do you have for front end loader?
well, 125. Plus wages, plus benefits,
Oh,
plus 401K contributions.
probably safe on that one then.
What's that?
Probably safe on that one then.
Well, I don't know the numbers yet, but I can get them pretty quick.
What do you want the motion?
The motion, I think the motion should be that we will forward a rate for our operator and equipment by Wednesday. If we turn this in tomorrow, we'll forward it by Wednesday. We could wait and send a letter on Wednesday for that matter.
I don't know why that's a motion, no. That's not in.
yeah, we need to be a bit more specific. Can you agree on if you agree on a front end loader rate,
Yeah,
I think you can then
Say the
give
front
Doug
end
the
loader
ability
rate, the,
to, you can figure out the wages. And I
Yeah,
agree
yeah,
that the rate
yeah.
that you're saying
Yeah.
is appropriate.
okay.
So it could be
100 for backhoe, whatever you want it to be for the front end loader. And then the hourly rates can be subject to the calculation. of the-
Okay, let's do that.
I wouldn't go less than 125 on your loader.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
100 and 125. Okay,
So I'll entertain a motion to agree to the rates of $100 for the backhoe, $125 for the front end loader, and then the calculation of employee
okay.
rate.
I will make that motion.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Anything else on Tri-Park?
No.
Water and sewer?
Sewer Authority would like to report that we have a signed agreement with the Prince Valley Area School District to provide services and accept a new lateral from the school district to the Sewer Authority. We've been working on this for the last 2 years, and we went through a lot of minutia, and we have an agreement that we're both satisfied with. So that's the conclusion of 2 years of business. There's no other new business to report. No new business in the water this last month. Any questions?
Thank you. On to the Secretary Treasurer's report. I'll entertain a motion to approve the March 7th, 2019.
There's my name's in there, it should be John Lowe. As attending the March meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
None.
No.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. You got that change, Pam? I'll entertain a motion to approve the April 1st Board of Supervisors special meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion as well.
Second here?
Any further discussion?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. I'll entertain a motion to accept and approve the all funds financial report.
I'll make a motion to accept that as well.
And I will second it?
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
motion carries unanimous. Bank interest rates. Do you want to go ahead into that, Pam?
Yeah. We were approached from First National Bank with some really great rates. As you can see. They have down what our First Bank was charging us and what the rate we would be getting through them and the savings, the earnings that we would be making at that new rate. Those are just some of the, just a couple of the accounts that we had given them to look at, but it is a very sizable amount.
You been Pliget at all?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Their rates are terrible.
Pliget's at 2.1 right now. To my knowledge.
What's
I
that?
think we looked at Pliget rates last year and they were not.
What did you say there?
Pliget is at he thinks they're at 2.1% right now.
Yeah.
They're roughly.
In Jersey Shore, it said they could get up to 1, but that's still significantly lower than 2.15.
So they have been approached.
Yes,
That's the best they'll do.
that's the best I'll do.
Yeah, we don't have much money in for it, do we?
I think we have
$2,000 or something.
Yeah.
Not quite two.
Yeah.
You want to read some of them off to the public?
If we switch our current accounts, we could have a net annual benefit of $7,919, more more than what we're bringing in the current bank.
That's just with just three of the accounts, that's not including all of our accounts that we currently have with Jersey Shore.
I think we should make a motion to change. What's your opinion?
Do you know what we're paying for the direct deposit currently?
I believe it's right around 20. I think it's right around the same amount.
What about the CD? We have a CD in the capital reserve also.
Mhm.
That's where they're paying us what,
It's very low.
yeah, and when is that due? I mean, when does that expire?
I believe it's within the next month.
Oh.
It's really soon.
So we could add another $100,000 there in a CD
Yeah.
if we wanted to.
Yeah.
That'd be even more money. Yeah, I think we should do this. My only regret is the First National Bank in Santa Monica is closing. But I guess the good news is Pam goes by the bank in Omaha every day, so. And she's the treasurer.
Yeah, I mean, they're giving you a savings rate of 2.15 for your spending accounts, so it's a no-brainer. I'm a big fan of Pliget because they provide certain fiduciary responsibilities that otherwise are not available. And, you know, the rate isn't, I'm going on the stock market and getting the next hot stock level, but the fiduciary and the fact that they serve public entities, I think, is important.
Even though this is protected under Act 72.
Yeah, but still, you're not fiduciaries. I mean, you're basically serving as that, but if something happened to this money, even if it was insured and all that, that could be an issue. So I like the idea of your checking account, your spending accounts having a savings type rate, but I would, for the longer term savings, reconsider Pliget. You don't have to. I mean, you are right. If it's insured, it's fine, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, we can go another month and look at the Pliget rates and
Yeah.
go from there.
Yeah. You don't want something to happen and then be the fiduciaries who have to explain to those folks.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. What are some of the fiduciary offerings from Pliget that the bank would not have?
Well, they essentially, not fully, I want to be careful, but they essentially warrant their work and their management of your money.
Mm-hmm.
So that they're, by law, custodians of the money, making reasonable and responsible decisions relating to the investment.
Okay, so they're investing in
I don't know.
mutual funds or stocks or something like that? Okay.
It's something.
I mean,
you could do both.
It doesn't hurt to go a month and look at the other interest
Yeah,
rates and then
yeah.
come back and make a decision next
Well,
week.
let's table it then.
I do, F&B's been, they have great municipal services. They have free checking or credit card processing.
Yeah,
for
they were
public
telling us
entities.
about that.
Yes, I mean, if you needed that, there's zero fees, so they have a lot of great municipal services, but it might be worth kind of
So
diversifying.
what if you went ahead with what's listed here, and then there's another 100,000 in capital reserve, and you put that with Pliget for a longer term?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, what's here, I think would be fine.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
for your other money, if it's just sitting around, maybe consider something else.
Okay.
I mean, this is pretty much all the money,
Oh.
plus the CD that's.
Sorry to put a wrench in.
I'll make a motion that we table this till next month.
I wouldn't support that motion. I think we should go ahead and go with what they've laid out here. And want to take some more money and put it in Pliget, I think that's fine. But this is flexible. To make up to 6 withdrawals and deposits a month for the capital reserve and the state aid account. General fund is a checking. But we have other money, like the other 100,000 or so in capital reserve, we could put that in the Pliget.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, I would make a motion to go ahead with the proposal here and then reconsider what we do with Pliget.
Okay, let's go back. You think we should do these accounts
Right,
with
but for your
F&B
long-term
and then
savings.
the CD that will be coming up?
Yeah.
Look at Pliget
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
possibility.
Yeah.
Okay. So not look at Pliget for these ones, just
Right.
for that longer term one.
Right.
I'll rescind my motion and go with that one then, Jared.
Okay, so the motion is to move the capital reserve, the state aid account, and the general fund to First National Bank from Jersey Shore.
Half the capital reserve.
Well,
Yeah, well, what's shown here, 100,000 is
Not the
367,
CD.
yeah.
Okay, so we're only moving those 3 accounts.
No, we probably have to move all of our,
Yes. I'm just
move all of the accounts. We're moving everything.
questioning.
Got it, Pam?
That's what you're here for. Okay, the motion is to move all of the accounts from Jersey Shore First National.
But not your CD, you don't want to
But
break
not
the
the
CD.
CD.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
there.
Okay,
But when the CD comes up,
The
then
accounts,
we'll,
the accounts shown on
we'll
the
talk about the
statement.
CD next month.
Yeah.
All right, so Charles made the motion, Doug seconded it. Any further discussion?
Not here.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, QuickBooks update. For payroll, QuickBooks likes to be a pain in everyone's rear end and make you update or upgrade every so often, or your payroll no longer works. So we are at that point, and we have to update to the 2019 QuickBooks. So I need a motion for that.
Okay, I'll make the motion. I wonder, well, that's not part of the motion. I'll make the motion. We update QuickBooks.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous.
I think in the future, though, like when we go to PSATs, there are probably some people down there that are using other systems that might be interesting in what they are.
I've been checking through PSATs because the big talk around right now is the different accounting software that's out there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying about going to ADP, but then you got a whole bunch saying, oh, they're just as bad, they're not good, they don't follow up. So, you know, it's either one there.
Well, I think it'd still be worth investigating.
Yeah.
But for now, it's QuickBooks.
Okay, right to know officers report is attached. Any comments, questions on that? No?
No.
Okay,
No.
roadmasters report. We need to make a motion to, we opened bids at noon for the 2019 road material bid. So we need to make a motion for the stone. Hanson was the low bidder, or the only bidder. For the, what's the other word I'm looking for?
The asphalt material was HRI.
HRI was the low bidder. They were the only bidder for that one as well, so.
Okay, you want to do it in one motion?
No, let's do two.
I'll make a motion that we award the stone bids to Hanson Aggregates.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. Entertain, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make the motion we award the asphalt products bid to HRI.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. Lower Georges Valley Bridge, the bids came in for that to PennDOT, and the, Apparent low bidder. Was to Ryland Construction Company for $774.653. So we just need to make a motion to accept that.
Where's Ryland from? They don't say.
What was that amount again?
$774,653.
What did I say?
100.
Well, you know,
You said 653 cents.
774,600.
I was like, what?
Oh, it's a little warm in here.
Yeah.
Riley
Wondering what they were
Construction.
doing.
Put 774,600. I'll make the motion that we approve the bid for the Lower Georges Valley Bridge for Ryland Construction at 774,600.
I'll second
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. Lee Woolridge from PennDOT regarding the bridge said that we'll have a pre-construction meeting sometime in the next few weeks. So he'll call. He's hoping to do it here so that we don't have to go to Clearfield. You want to talk about the dirt and gravel road grant meetings?
We met with Tim Ziegler, the guy that works for Dirt and Gravel Roads, and Chris Meyer, the guy from the Conservation District, about the Veneta Gap project that we put together for last year. Didn't get done due to weather and manpower, but everything is set to be rolling in that here in the near future, I guess.
Sounded like maybe starting the 22nd.
Yeah, the end of the month, beginning of next month, if the roads fit, to do the rest. We talked to a few residents that were there. I contacted all three of them that are directly affected. I got hold of two, the other one I'm gonna try again. We put in our grant for 2019, just go along and put a top coat of DSA on everything on Veneta Gap, or the last portion of Veneta Gap and what we're just filling in right now. So then Veneta Gap would be kind of a completed project as far as the DSA goes. But like I said, it looked good as far as getting looked at in the grant world, I guess. Other than that, I don't know.
The road will probably need to be closed
For a few days.
for a few days. There's only one resident, and I'm talking since the fire company is here also. There's only one resident that lives in the section that would have to be closed, and he was part of the conversation. So he's aware of that. But people from the upper part of Veneta will be able to go down Lingle
Or out there,
or out Decker.
depending on where they're going.
Yeah. So that'll be something we'll obviously communicate with you guys too as well.
So the
You'll be able to
section
get
of
through
roads-
if you need to.
So the section of roads from like maybe Nevin Stitcher's camp to.
Yes.
Veneta Road,
Veneta.
yeah.
To Lingle. Yeah. So we'll make sure we're in contact about that, but you guys should be able to still, if you need to get through
Yeah.
for emergencies, still be
The
able to get through.
contractor will talk, we'll talk to you up there and,
We just don't want a bunch of residents and vehicles going down, getting their tires popped or anything on these roads.
yeah, we're filling in a portion of the road and trying to bring it up to get the water off of it and get piped in, so. We'll touch base with you, I guess, probably have you and Pam put something on the website about that and, deal with that whenever we get there.
Anything else?
I guess we've finished taking snow fence down, we, swept all the roads, all snow plows and the spreaders and trucks are cleaned, washed, greased, put away. Our new employee got a CDL, so that's one thing off the agenda. We talked about the driveway permit, we talked about the rig. Nothing really.
Let's just make a motion. Todd, 90 days is up. on Monday, I believe. Let's just make a motion
14.
to approve continued employment, because that was his 90-day.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
Yeah, second there.
Any further discussion?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Unfinished business, the telecommunications facility ordinance, we talked about that. We need to just advertise that for public inspection. So we can do that, and then at the next meeting have the hearing on it, right? Okay. The writ of mandamus ruling came in. You want to say anything about that?
We had the hearing on the writ of mandamus, and we got the decision from the court, and the decision found in favor of the township.
Office computer issue, Dan Decker, who we're working with on that, apologizes, he's been very busy. And then the Dell prices have been kind of increasing and fluctuating. So he did come up with one that's a 16 gigabyte of RAM, grade 1 dual hard drive, 1 terabyte, 7,200 RPM, 5-year parts and labor warranty for $1,566.47. And then it'll be $116 in tax for a 6 terabyte external hard drive, which is also part of the backup system. And then his labor, obviously, so it should still be well within what we had already previously approved. So he will be getting that ordered, and hopefully we can get that computer issue taken care of. At the same time as QuickBooks updating. Any questions, comments on that?
No.
Okay. Underground storage tank, we sent the approval in for the contract and the deposit. I think he said they're supposed to be coming maybe next week to work on that. Brandon?
Yeah, next week, or, I just want to be around, so after the beginning of the week, by the end of the week, earliest.
And then you and Todd will do your certifications online sometime in there too.
Yeah, whenever we get to that.
Anything else on underground storage tanks?
Not here, no.
We had last month, Don Grenable submitted his resignation for emergency management coordinator, recommending Jim Smith. Jim Smith has provided a resume and some background information there. So any discussion or motion?
I would like to make a motion to nominate Jim Smith for that position.
To appoint Jim Smith. Right.
Well, we have to, we send the rec.
To the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donnie will help us with that.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
None. Not here.
All those in favor? Yes. Let me get that back to you. Sarah Campbell Lane. So today we need to decide whether or not we move forward with the plan submitted for Sarah Campbell Lane. Pantera is here. If you have any questions, if you want to make any comments or anything at this point.
I mean, you guys have seen the plans, you know what's going on, it's 2,100 feet, it's existing gravel road, we brought up the township standards. PennDOT will bless both, you know, either ends, the connection will have to sign off on it. We got a couple comments from Don Franson, the engineer, we'll take care of those. Talked to Brandon about some of his concerns, we'll get that stuff taken care of. Pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, we have to.
I don't at this point. Doug, do you?
No, I'm okay. Yeah.
At this point, I would like to only approve the Sarah Campbell Lane
Yeah.
portion though, and not the turn back.
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the Sarah Campbell Lane,
Portion of the road.
I would
design.
make that motion.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
None.
Not here.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. New business, fire company. Charles, you asked about, do you have something you want to say?
Yeah, Scott, can you explain to us in detail about this radio now? For the EMA?
Yeah, sorry, I would have printed out the email if I knew this was gonna happen. All right, the county called me wanting to know where a radio was that the fire company owned. I told him I did not know, I'd have to look into it. I got my inventory sheets out. I did not find the serial number they were looking for. I did, however, notice that there were, I don't know, I forget how many radios were listed on that sheet of paper, maybe 8. And there were, one serial number was doubled. So there was a radio up here with this serial number and a radio down here that had the same serial number. So I called over to the county and asked when the last time this radio was on the air. And he told me it was the day before we had a call that day. So the radio was turned on, but it did not transmit. I said, when's the last time it transmitted? May 6th, I believe, 2018, that was the day of Fulton's fire. Okay. So at that point, I kind of figured that that was the radio that our fire marshal had. So I had a gear inspection, a gear and pager inspection, whatever date that was. I forget now, I believe it was Thursday night last month. The radio came in and the person had said it wasn't working. I forgot what the serial number was that I was looking for, so I didn't know, I wasn't certain that that was the radio I was looking for, so I did not ask for it back. I did, however, ask this person if they had a radio that belonged to the fire company when we switched positions in January, and that person informed me that it was an EMA radio. Okay. So, I called EMA. EMA does not issue radios to any township EMA coordinators. Okay. So I called the county back and I said, I think I know where this radio is, but I'm not sure. Dave Rouse said, I'm going to turn this radio into a brick because you don't know where it is. I said, okay. That was a conversation. He flipped the switch, turned the radio off, it no longer works. We figured the radio would show up at Center Communications or somewhere to be fixed. It has not showed up. I don't know where it is. I would like it back. I believe Mr. Grenable has it. Apparently he doesn't want to hand it over. I'm not sure what to do about it. And I'm not going to argue and fight about it. I have enough radios. I don't need to fight. I'm done fighting with everybody. So it is what it is. If I get it back, great. If we don't, oh well. I don't know what to do about it.
Now, is that radio something that Mr. Smith will be using?
It shouldn't. It's not an EMA radio. EMA doesn't own any radios.
But the fire company owns a radio that was being used for EMA,
So here's what
because
was
the EMA
explained.
person should have it.
Okay.
So here's what was explained to us last Thursday evening in our fire company meeting. Doug and Brandon Young came to the fire company meeting. There was no trace of any paperwork of that radio being assigned to an EMA person. Brandon and Doug explained in the meeting that whenever they changed their radio frequencies, when Center County changed their radio frequencies, the township did not have enough money to buy the EMA director a radio. Therefore, the fire company gave the EMA director a radio. I don't know who all knew about that. I can tell you this, if Brandon and Doug Young wouldn't have showed up at the meeting last Thursday night, probably would still know about it, simply because the radio serial number was duplicated.
Where is the radio? Do you have a radio that was wiped out of EMA?
No, I do not.
So right now, this radio just doesn't exist anywhere.
We think we know where it's at, but it does not work. The radio, we bought new radios.
It doesn't work because the button was switched and the channels were wiped clean.
It does not work because we do not know where the radio is, one, and the county does not know where the radio is, so that is a public safety issue. The other part of it is that the EMA director was asked if he had a radio, a fire company radio, and he said no. On the radio, there's a sticker that says this radio is property of Gregg Township Firemen's Relief.
So you have seen the radio because the sticker says,
Yes.
but you no longer have the radio.
We've never possessed the radio. Whenever we asked for equipment and radio and pager check, the radio was brought by the EMA person to the fire hall. It was checked in and given back to him.
Without the channels.
I don't remember when the channels were turned on.
Donnie, do you have the radio?
I have a radio, and they both know that I had that radio.
Okay, you have a radio.
I have a radio. that
I
was
don't
given to
care
me.
about the fire company drama, which seems to be getting in the way of serving the
So,
community.
Karen, here's-
Let me finish.
Okay.
What I care about is that it is our responsibility as the Board of Supervisors to provide fire protection to Gregg Township. So what I need to know is that Gregg Township Fire Company is providing fire protection to Gregg Township. And if not, that's an issue that we need to address then. Part of that is the EMA person needs to have a radio that has the channels on it so that if there's an emergency, they're able to communicate. So wherever the radio is, it needs to get the channels back on it, and then it needs to go to Jim, who's going to be hopefully the new EMA person. I don't care how that happens, but it needs to happen.
And that would have happened, Carrie, if, when we asked if he had a radio, if he would have said, yes, I have a radio, and told us the full story. I told him that last Thursday night in a crowd of people at our.
That's fine. I don't really want to get into that. All I know is that for us as the Board of Supervisors, is Gregg Township Fire Company operational?
Yes.
Don, what were you going to say?
That isn't the way it happened at all. They had that radio in their hands. They both asked me a couple times if there was a radio, and I said yes. It belongs to the Firemen's Relief Association, which is on it. But it was made, it was a Chiefs radio at one time, and then they made it into an EMA radio with all the channels in.
Okay.
Nobody has asked me for that radio. I had it in, they had a little confab between themselves, gave me the radio back, and that was it.
Okay. What's your plan with the radio now?
Pardon?
Do you have a plan with the radio now?
Well, yeah, I was hoping to turn it over to the new EMA director, who should have that radio.
And we need to get the channels put
It's
back
not
on the radio.
operational now, though, is it?
That's the
It
issue.
is not operational now.
Can I make a
Are you
recommendation?
capable of getting the
Can I
channels
make a
back on the
recommendation?
radio?
Can I make a recommendation?
Sure.
Okay. One, the radio be turned into the Firemen's Relief president, okay, by the person who has it now. The Firemen's Relief president will then take the radio and make sure that it is operational for the new EMA director. We will also have a serial number for that radio that actually corresponds with that radio.
And you can put in motion in one of your meetings, this radio is used for the EMA.
The reason it was caught was because we assigned another radio to a captain, and the county said, wait a minute, you have two captains' radios, why do you need two captains' radios?
I think
So-
everyone agrees here. You said you're happy to hand it over. You were saying, Jim, but you can give it back, right? To the Firemen's Relief for the president.
I am still the EMA director until the governor appoints Jim.
Okay.
So it needs
I
to be
would
turned
like
in to
have
get the
that
channels
radio
back on.
in
and then-
operation.
Yeah.
And then I will turn it over to Jim, who is the EMA director, and then I don't care what happens. Jim will take care of it.
Yeah, I think it's important to have it operational, because right now, he has no way of communicating.
I agree with you 100%, and it would have been operational, it would have never been taken out of service if we wouldn't have been lied to, that we didn't know where it was at.
This isn't really something for us to get into.
Yeah,
I will tell you
just wanna
this, as a
see-
board of supervisors and a citizen of this township for the past 26 years, I will guarantee that this fire company will be in existence as long as I am part of it. Okay? This fire company has grown leaps and bounds in the past 18 months. We have people from other municipalities calling us and wanting to train with us. We have had more fundraisers, and I know that this is not relevant right now. But I will tell you, as a citizen of Gregg Township, that this fire company will be in existence.
How long does it take, how long does it take for the governor to approve it? You know, what's the time?
I don't know, Donnie's been the person forever.
I don't know, I was in it
Okay.
for 29 years, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but I know the township recommended somebody for that office, and then the governor appointed that person, and that was me for the last 29 years.
Do you know how, do you have a notion of roughly how long it takes, by chance?
Well,
I understand if you
don't
don't.
take very long, really.
Okay.
Once
Yeah,
they
yeah.
get, once they get the recommendation from a supervisor, I wouldn't think that would take that long for him to appoint somebody.
Okay.
They have to go through the background check and everything.
Well, so how long is Dawn without a radio now that works? That's my concern. I mean, this thing ought to be working right now, is the emergency management coordinator.
If you guys get that radio, how soon can that be back?
In about 5 minutes. I just need to know that I have the correct radio with the correct serial number in my hand, so I can have the county turn it back on. I can't just have a radio floating out wherever, just turn it on. Can't do that. And if somebody won't tell me what radio they have, or if they have one, then I'm gonna shut it off. That's my job.
And also for fireman's relief audit, we need that radio serial number correctly identified and who has it.
Y'all are, I mean, we're pushing the limits of what the supervisors need to talk about. I'd say y'all should just agree to work it out, get the radio back so they can put the right channels on it and move on.
Yeah, yeah. Sooner the better.
I would like to know when the radio is operational and back to the EMA, if that's possible. Anything else? Anything else for good of the order?
Not here.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, next meeting is May 9th, 6:30.